Welcome back to Q's Climate Optimism. I was unable to make this film out in the nature, but living in a Finnish suburb, that means there's forest all around me anyway, so this will work just fine. Today I'm going to talk about world politics and a way to find optimism there relating to climate change. This is from the viewpoint of an EU citizen myself, but I think it reflects pretty well all around the world. Now, the EU buys a lot, well, pretty much almost all of its fossil fuels from Russia. That means gas, natural gas, and oil, and of course the oil is refined into all kinds of petroleum products. Now, we of course want to get rid of using fossil fuels. I mean, that's a very good way forward. That's something we have to do. That's something we want to do, and that's something that's going to really help us, because it's not just moving to a better way for the climate, it's moving a better way for us, because of course less pollution in the cities, better air quality, and so on and so forth. But what about the changes to the selling country, Russia? Now we know that Russia, and it's not the only country in the world, but it's one of the countries that's very much dependent on exporting fossil fuels as their pretty much primary industry. And of course when that ends, that will mean a big change for Russia. Now, of course, change is inevitable. We can start with that. But there are many articles writing about the worries of this change it will bring. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into world politics details here, but unfortunately, Russia is in a bit of a bad place if we're looking at what its image is in world politics right now. And the situation could be better. I also want to emphasize that when we're criticizing Russian leadership, for example, and their world political decisions, that does not mean any bad word to Russian citizens and people. I have Russian friends. I'm sure many of you do as well. Nice people. Anyways, the change will be big. And how it will affect the country is, of course, anyone's guess. I say there is not a lot of reason to start worrying and panicking right now, because while change is inevitable, sorry, not good English, but how we process that change is pretty much up to us. If we believe and work toward a positive change, we can really achieve it. Now, I've read a lot of articles saying that, for example, businesses that work with fossil fuels, right? And there's a lot of these businesses in Russia, and a little bit less other kinds of businesses, unfortunately. But these businesses are in a key position to change and are able to be key players in things like the hydrogen industry, offshore wind farms, carbon storage. Just to name a few. This is based on the International Energy Association's, I hope I got the name right, their report, which I was reading a brief on just recently. Which means that Russia can take this change and change their whole society. They can diversify knowledge, training, skills, give a lot more hope to the young people, give them a lot more choices of work and future prospects, because it closes a door but opens a window. This, of course, affects many other countries in the world. I'm just talking about the one that, well, it's close to us, and we discuss it a lot in European magazines. But I think there's a lot of these countries that are working and heavily reliant on fossil fuels, and of course, the classic way to see it, this is their opportunity, their strength, okay? But unfortunately, it can also be a burden. If it's a burden, that means there's reason for an optimistic change. Again, nobody has it written in stone that this change has to be bad. But we have to remember that positive change doesn't just happen. It happens because we want a positive change. We're willing to work for a positive change, and we want to see that great future. Russia could have a wonderful future, a very sunny future, after the time of fossil fuels. Their diminishing returns from fossil fuel sales may just mean increasing twice as well, increasing possibilities from so many other prospects, as long as they have a chance to keep their eyes and minds open for this. Now, this is not the first time in the world that countries have faced great change. Something that has lasted decades is just gone. It's just changing. And we've seen a lot of these changes that have happened for the positive. And when Finland, my home country here, lost the Second World War, I mean, we were in shambles. Fast forward that, 10 years, 20 years, we were doing better than ever. It was a horrible situation. Everything around us has changed. The whole world had changed. But we found a positive outcome. Estonia, our neighbor to the south, they were under Soviet rule for a long time. After they regained their independence, they didn't have much in the country. There wasn't that much industry. There wasn't that much hope. But they grew up to be so wonderful. I mean, I don't even have the words. They valued new skills, new enterprises, new studies. They went forward. This is a chance for every country. It's not a burden. It's not something to stress about. It's a chance to like, wonderful. Now we have a challenge. Now we can change. Now we can fix those old mistakes that have been coming with us for a long time. And now we can build something better on that. And I think this, again, is one more way we can look optimistically at the hard work we have to do to combat climate change. We can become something better in so many ways. So how about it? Let's work toward that. Let's work hard and let's enjoy the fruits of our labor. All right, we'll continue with that. Bye-bye.